All right, what's going on?
Oh, I don't know how much of the stuff that's on my brain is on your page. Let's find out.
I mean, there's a good amount of stuff. I mean, in particular, you want to talk about your main characters, and kind of like how sometimes there's the main character of Twitter. Well, that doesn't really happen these days because the main character is forever Elon Musk from now on. But the main character of video games, at the very least this week, is,
leave the election fraud on the side and get back to video games.
Yeah. One CEO, Pete Parsons, is
noted massive piece of shit.
So it's funny because the first thing I had heard about this was that his tweet announcing the mass layoffs at Bungie on his page, the tweet underneath it was the exact same tweet from 1 year prior.
With the other mass layoffs.
So, that's always a good sign.
Second, is this the same guy who bought $2.3 million of classic cars right before the last batch of layoffs?
25 cars. In fact,
wow.
In fact, the cool thing, those cars are so cool that you should come check them out. You should come to my place and see them. They're really, really cool cars, you guys. Is what he said 2 days before firing the people that he was flossing his new cars to. So, yeah, there basically has been a mass layoff at Bungie. They've gone from 1,300 employees to about 850.
This includes restructuring around enough that Luke Smith, who's the former gameplay lead, I think, or director, and then the senior narrative guy and most of their music team are gone now.
Of those who were fired, there's also about 155 others that are going to be moved to a new company within Sony to finish working on a codenamed project or so. But yeah, it's a particularly this one's been all neat and tidy because in addition to the shit like that where Sam Bartley, who worked for Bungie, came out afterwards and basically was explained that this you did this, you chose this, listed as do not work with, and I don't care anymore. You invited me to see your new cars 2 days before you laid me off. So people are like going, hey, CEO, fucking, how about you leave? And a number of other people that were a part of that also are basically going, there's shit that can't be discussed publicly, but this dude's a liar, a thief, and so many other worse things that can't be said. This isn't on Sony. This is squarely on the failure of leadership, plain and simple, calling for Pete Parsons to step down.
So let's go down the list of things that have happened here. So
a year ago,
people are talking about right away, like before we even know. So people at Bungie are being interviewed under anonymity, and they're saying, yeah, so I don't know how the fuck anybody got $3.6 billion for this company. We were never worth that much. The only way that would make any sense is if, I don't know, the CEO were telling Sony crazy ass impossible shit that was never going to happen. And then people come out and go, he was telling Sony crazy ass impossible shit that was never going to happen. And based off that crazy shit, Sony made a deal with Bungie that said, hey, you got to hit these targets or we'll kind of absorb you guys a little bit because it would mean you don't know how to run your company, and we'll take over. And Pete goes, fuck, we're not going to hit those fucking targets. How can I make the number go up just enough to keep control over the company? I don't know how. Layoffs. Now, I know Sony just gave the company a payout specifically to avoid layoffs. But the only way to maintain control of Bungie is that if I take that layoff payment money and then also lay people off, then it'll look like the company made just enough money so I could keep it for another year. And then
Cars. Question mark. Cars.
And then more layoffs. And then I think the part of this that's sorry.
Question. Hi. So Diana Voyer, I believe, Bungie employee. Question, Pete. Have leadership considered taking pay cuts in order to prevent?
We're not that kind of company. We're not that kind of company. Okay, we're just not that kind of company.
Because if the money came from the people who are currently giving themselves bonuses,
we're not doing that. We don't do that here. That's not the way we do things.
Gotcha. Thanks. All right. Cool.
And so now we're here. So Beyond Light didn't do very well the last expansion, and so they got layoffs because they couldn't hit their numbers. Final Shape,
couldn't be us.
Final Shape, despite all the pressure and the layoffs, Final Shape was received well, sold well, was kind of a slam dunk. Here's some more layoffs, and after this comes the Bungie statement explaining, listen, we're super committed to Destiny going forward. Now, we're no longer going to do expansions, but we are going to do bi-yearly content updates that are going to be a little smaller. Now, we won't commit to just how much smaller in any way, but Destiny is basically over.
It's
now.
It's over. Now the thing is that that's kind of what it fucking sounds like. Keeping the 850 employees around, if anything happens, again, Sony gets first option to again reshuffle and move those people around as they are employees of Sony. Behind being employees of Bungie.
Now remember, Sony bought Bungie, or did this deal because Sony ordered 10 live service games, and Bungie was supposed to be the torch in the darkness that leads Sony's live service division. And then they canceled all of those except for, I think, Concord. Do you remember, this was a long time ago, but I went on this little rant about how every game wants to be a games as a service like Destiny. Like in every interview, it's like, we want to be like Destiny. We want to chase after Destiny's success. Like Destiny was often name dropped, right?
Okay.
And I went on the podcast and we were talking, and I was like, I don't think Destiny makes any money. I think Destiny is like actually a dismal failure because they always talk about development on that game like they're broke. Right? Like there's never enough time and whatever. And I was informed very angrily by people in the chat and on social media that actually Destiny brings in tons of money, and it's wildly successful for Bungie, and that the success of that is worthy to chase. Except for interviews that I've been seeing over the past week where people are like, oh, we were totally going to go bankrupt if we didn't get that Sony deal. We were on the verge of bankruptcy. We were absolutely going to go under if Sony didn't buy us.
Okay. Yeah. So like, there's apparently a trail because you can look at everything happening now and look back to a year ago and see how things went to see the exact same thing playing out 12 months later. And one of the details as well for the people who were fired a year ago was that they were given their 3-month severance and their health benefits and such as part of their package. Yeah. But anyone who received stock from the Sony purchase but has not yet vested it, apparently it just disappears and returns back to the company. So
cool.
There are stocks that are promised to these people who have been laid off that essentially are just being stolen back from them. So
Oh yeah, no, the CEO is looting the company. He's literally just tearing the company into his own pocket.
so anybody who's are in the current round as well is equally getting fucked over by that element too. So yeah, that's the nature.
I would be surprised if Sony didn't something with this, because Sony got fucked on this. like they horribly overpaid for a company, and then the company was like disintegrated by the guy they bought it from before they got it.
But Your Honor, we were going to present evidence of all of his misdeeds, but then he privated his account.
Oh, did he?
So we can't see it anymore. So we don't know.
Oh.
We can't. we all the evidence is gone.
It's
Yeah. This is a particularly rough one in the sense that like the amount of people that are just like, yep, can't speak, NDAs, but make no mistake, this is on one dude. It's very clear who, and it's the guy who's tweeting out pictures of his cars. That's the fucker. Don't even think for a second this is coming from Sony above, you know.
there's more in all of this of particular note. So, well, you're familiar with the term new player experience, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the onboarding experience when you get into a gas game. So, you remember when Destiny vaulted like its first 2 years of stuff?
Oh,
That
yes,
was like
taking down the shit that
yeah,
was...
it took it down. So now when you start the game, you do like one mission and it just like drops you into the hub and just like goes go. And it's one of the most incomprehensible new player experiences ever. Like I've seen lots of people like download it for free and just go, what the fuck? I don't, what? During all of this, it came out that internally they had one shot at redeveloping the onboarding and then it didn't work, so they gave up. And it just never came up again. And then later on in that interview, it's like, yeah, all of our players are much older now. All of our concurrent users are much older. So we really want to make new properties that skew younger. And it's like they're older because it's the people who got in before you couldn't get in anymore. The people who play Destiny right now are the people who started playing Destiny back when you could start playing Destiny.
Man, this is just in terms of game legacy. It's just rough that it's like, hey, how's Halo doing? Oh, okay. How's Destiny? Okay, cool. And Marathon. It's just like
yo.
Yeah. That is a fucking shame for a storied ass company, you know.
Also, so like maintenance mode for a long-term game does not necessarily mean a bad thing, right? FF11 is out there in its maintenance mode, and FF11's just got a bunch of shit, and people go, I like to play FF11. I got friends that jump on FF11 every now and then, right? It's got like 10 years of shit to fuck around with, right? The problem with Destiny's maintenance mode is that like they still never put back all that shit they vaulted. So like half the game is just there.
There's no semi-annual whatever rotation.
No, it's just like, hey, Destiny's going into maintenance mode. Do you want to play the second half of Destiny 2?
Fucking weird.
So fucking stupid.
Yeah. So, it seems as if, you know, no one can really make anything happen here except for, I suppose, Sony, depending on how this plays out with them. But something else that people are basically saying as well is just like, dude, get the fuck out, because we all know you've got, like, he's got a golden parachute deal as well. And, you know, if he ever did choose to leave, what he would get for it could buy a fuck ton of cars, actually. It'd be incredible. It'd be great.
Yeah, but what if I stole more money out of the company and then also got that golden parachute?
That is how you do. That is how you get all the cars. It is true. you know, yeah. So, good stuff. Good stuff happening over there. Good shit, Pete Parsons. Well done.
Hey, you know what? Congratulations to Warframe. Under Rebecca Ford's stewardship, it continues to exist. Yeah. What a metric, huh?
Remember the first time you saw that graphic with like the Traveler? And I was like, ooh, look at that cool thing.
Cool.
That looks cool. Yeah. All right. Well,
Do you know how you actually find out what happened with the Traveler in parts of that game that you didn't see anymore?
No.
You have to go to Biff's YouTube channel and watch his like Vati style
God
lore
damn it.
breakdowns. Like, it's literally the only way now.
I'm half expecting you to be like the official like onboarding like tutorial links to YouTube videos.
You would think that the Destiny YouTube channel would have those.
Oh my god.
No. No.
Wow. All right. Well, not just Bungie, but you know, because considering we're still resetting the clock over here.
I need one more. I need one more. Okay, there's a character that they brought back to life in, I think, one expansion ago, in which every single thing in that character's like story and his death and the guy that killed him are no longer available.
You just can't. You can't possibly know.
No, you can't. It's gone.
That's so insane. That's so insane.
Oh, I'm being informed they put his death back in? Oh, that's great. My mistake.
Like live service. Oh my god. I mean, like, is it because by vaulting all that stuff, it's not gonna feel like? Do they want new players to be like, oh, it's not that intimidating because there's like I can't follow the logic here.
Here's what actually happened. When they made Destiny and Destiny 2 the first couple of years, they made it their engine shit was very inefficient, and they then since learned how to make levels a lot better so they would take up less space and they'd be less buggy. So what they said is, hey, we're going to make all these new things, and as we go forward, we're going to vault that old stuff. And then when we have extra time after the ends of seasons, we're going to go back and we're going to spruce up that old stuff so that it runs better and is less buggy. And then we're going to reintegrate it into the game. And then they have been on panic mode the whole time. So it's just never going to come out.
And so the bloated full file size with everything in it would be completely unrealistic for anyone to download.
Yeah, that's supposedly.
I see.
I remember when they were saying that, people were like, you're never going to do that. Never. And also, I was informed by this chat while we were joking that Concord comes out in 2 weeks. Sure. I only mention that in this conversation because Concord is the shooter made by the Destiny 2 PvP team, which I should let you know that Destiny's PvP sucks. And is bad.
What is this?
Concord?
Team shooter.
Yeah, it's a team. It's like Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay. Boy, I forgot.
Yeah, did you know or did you forget?
I feel like we discussed this, or
we did.
Yeah, we did. We did discuss this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
So that's gonna die.
Fuck. Oh boy. All right. Well, God bless. Now the thing is too as well. It's like I was gonna say like with an ongoing live service game, you know, Final Fantasy 14 and World of Warcraft are all there, and they have their infinity budgets behind them. So sure, but yeah, is Warframe not the direct like comparison point?
Warframe and Destiny were direct comparisons.
Right, team size and scale and budget and everything like that.
And they had opposing strengths. So Destiny's shooting and its content was really solid and really tight, but content was really slow to come out, and they would never let off the leash and let you really go for it and have fun. Warframe has so much content. It is so weird and spread out and inconsistent and goofy to find. And they will let you get so overpowered that you can ruin the game for yourself.
Okay.
Like they are the opposite of each other.
Well, you know, there was always that one. I think there's one dungeon or boss that's like super duper cool melee stuff that Esteban was telling me about. That's like there's the content that's worth seeing, but it's DLC that you have to get to after some time and whatever.
What game are you talking about?
Destiny. Apparently, there's some sick boss that does some rad.
There's a lot of cool bosses in that game.
Yeah,
but, I mean, you would have to go at it for a while, and you'd be miserable.
Yeah.
You'd be fucking miserable, like grinding out through Destiny.
I bought the first one and put a bit of time in, and then was like, yeah, this isn't for me. You know, it was a classic. Like, I spent my money, I tried it out, did some stuff, didn't fully enjoy it that much, and never went back to it. Like, you know,
hey, by the way, if you guys are sad about Destiny probably on its way out, and want something that feels similar to Destiny, I was sponsored by a game a long time ago, but I still heartily recommend it. It's called what's it called? Remnant 2. You can get it for $32. It's fantastic.